Hello, my name's Jan McDonough, and that's my husband and we're the executive business leaders for Explosive Team Sales Organization. We're based in Minnesota, and below you will see that is our home address because I have that there because we do have an honor store on our porch where you are able to come by and follow the directions on the signs there. You pull a sales aid slip out of the file box. And if you want, take a pack of catalogs, a pack of brochures, a pack of order forms, fundraiser catalogs, whatever, fill out the slip according to what you are making. And then you just take that slip and your check or cash and drop it in the box on the bottom shelf. You can use a credit card, but there is a $3 fee for credit cards. So I just want you to know that. And then right below our address is our cell phone numbers, which you can easily call or text either one of us. And both of our email addresses are there as well. Brian takes care of more of what I would consider like operations, admin side of the business. If you're, looking for products, or do we have catalogs on our honor store before you make the drive over, or things like that, you're going to be more likely to talk to Brian. If you are looking for help with dating, recruiting, you want to move to manager, anything with the programs, though that's kind of the sales side, which is what I do. I put on most of the training and the sales side, the meetings and all that kind of stuff. So no problem. So I just wanted to give you that little overview. Of course, our emails are there as well. And you can contact us pretty much anytime. We kind of use the 9 to 9 as our business hours. We do take Sundays off. So if you message us or email us on a Sunday, you just probably won't hear back from us till a Monday. And then what you can expect to learn today is about the money you make, the details of your kit, the cycle of success, and how you learn. The training's about an hour and a half, and we'll probably go a little bit over that because of the technical difficulties at the beginning. But at the end of the call, I will let you know how to get a copy of this presentation as well as the handouts. So what interested you most about the Tupperware opportunity? What was it that you were looking for? Was it the discounted Tupperware? Was it a lot of money? Was it a little bit of money? Was it a career option? What is it that you were looking for? Many of us come into this business for a variety of different reasons. I basically wanted to purchase my Tupperware wholesale, and several months after I was in, I was told I needed to go to one of those meetings to keep getting my discount. And oh my gosh, I had no idea what all was available in Tupperware. So my word of encouragement to you is don't wait several months till somebody says you have to go to a meeting. Just start checking everything out right away, because there is so much more available than just your discount and just the bowls. So we do put on lots of regular training. Some are in person, some are by webinar, some are by conference call, and there's really no right or wrong way to do this business, but we sure do our best to try to share what we consider best business practices. Those are the things that we know have worked for us or have worked for others, and that's what we try to help you with. So take advantage of the free training, apply what you learn, see what works for you, and you'll just go from there. So we're going to start by talking a little about the money that you make. And first of all, you retain your 25% profit right away. And how that happens is when you're doing your parties, people are going to pay you the full retail plus the shipping plus the tax. When you take that money and you deposit it into your bank account, and then you process your order, and you are only going to be paying the consultant cost. So you're going to be paying that 75% of retail plus the full shipping and tax is nothing more than a pass-through to Tupperware. The full shipping and tax. So that will leave you with just the consultant cost. So your 75% of the profit of the of the retail price, and then also the shipping and tax. Tupperware takes care of paying the state sales tax for you, so you don't have to worry about that. And basically, the money that's left over is your commission, and it's in your hand immediately. Now, if you do a party that is like all credit cards, you don't need to go get one of the credit card sliders. You want to put the credit card number in when you place the order for each individual person that uses a credit card, because then Tupperware pays the credit card fees. So what you'll want to do is put the order in. You'll put the full amount that you're charging them, which is the retail plus the shipping plus the tax. You'll charge that amount, and then when you get to the end after you do the host order, and it comes up as consultant costs, it'll show that you have an overpayment. And that overpayment then is returned back to you in a direct deposit or in a check, whichever way you choose. So, and that's done on a month or on a weekly basis. So that money will come back to you right away. Should you do a party that is part credit card and part cash and check, then what will happen is the 25% profit from all of those credit cards gets applied to your consultant cost before it gives you the amount that you owe. So the 25% from the credit cards are kind of applied as a payment, and your consultant cost, and then what the balance is what you'll be paying when you put the order in. So it kind of works itself out to where basically it's 25% back in your hand right away or within the week. So that's the main way that we make money, is through our parties. That's where we have the most fun. That's where we meet the most people. That's where we have the opportunity to really grow our business. Then the second way we make money is through the internet bonus. And when you have $500 or more in personal sales, which is a goal that you want to make every month, not just in your first 30 days, but every month you want to strive for $500 or more in personal sales, and you also have a paid website, what happens then is you get to play in the internet pool. And that is all of the people that go to Tupperware.com and place orders that are not allocated for a specific consultant. All of those orders across the country are combined for anyone that has $500 or more in personal sales and a paid website. It's divided up. Those sales are divided up among all of you that have your 500 or more and the paid website. So say it comes out to $100 each. Well, then what you're going to find is you're going to get a $25 bonus, because that's 25% of the amount that was separated for you. So that varies a little bit every month. Most of the time, it's enough to cover the cost of your paid website, depending on which website you choose. And there'll be more, there are, what did I see? 4 different choices now. So there's a little bit of a change to that, and I just saw that, so I'm going to be enhancing this presentation one more time. But there's your free, then there's your plus, which is the paid website, and then there's the silver, which also gives you the opportunity to use the Zoom, where people can attend live at your parties through Zoom. It's kind of like Skype, but Zoom is the company that we're using. And then there's also what we call the gold level, which gets you in some of those Google searches. And then there is platinum, which gets you in the Google searches, plus it's a paid website, so people can order on your website, they can do fundraisers through your website, they can do online parties, all that kind of stuff. So there's different choices now. So you want to take a look at those. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help you, and there is some information in your opportunity kit, in your getting started guide, that will help you a little bit more with that. But what's nice is that internet bonus is some extra cash in your pocket, plus you'll come up in the consultant search. Like somebody puts their zip code in and they're looking for a consultant in their area. When you have the $500 or more in the paid website, you will come up in that consultant search. So that's kind of a big plus as well. Then we've got a third income opportunity, and this is called the personal sales volume bonus. We sometimes abbreviate that as PSVB. And what this is when you hold 3 or more parties. So say you hold 3 parties based on the $500 party standard, that's going to be $1,500 in sales. So when you have 1,500 through 3,999 in a sales month, Tupperware is going to pay you a 5% bonus on the volume of your personal sales. And what's really exciting is when you hold 2 parties a week, or basically 8 parties in the month, and you're at $4,000 or more, then Tupperware is going to give you a 10% bonus on your personal volume. And you receive that bonus on a monthly basis. And it's sweet, I'll just say. Then a fourth way that you can make money, or what we call multiply your income without multiplying your hours, and that would be to step up to manager. And that is when you share your business opportunity with 3 or more people, 3 or more personal recruits that join the team with you. You and those 3 people, or more if you have more, achieve $2,500 in unit sales, and units are 3 levels deep. So your recruits, their recruits, and their recruits. So 3 levels deep. So you and your team of 3 personal or more, and they're 3 levels deep, hit 2,500 for the month. And again, you've already got your 500 personal. That's when you're eligible to receive the $100 first time step up bonus. You're also eligible for Profit Plus, which is kind of like an override on your team's commissionable volume. Also a Vanguard bonus. And all of that is based on the volume of the unit sales. So we call that multiplying your income without multiplying your hours by stepping up to manager. And then the next is we have a cash program, and this starts at the executive manager level. Executive manager is 9 or more personal recruits that have active status, meaning they've sold 250 or more within their rolling 4-month period. You and your 9 personal recruits, and then their recruits, their recruits, and their recruits, all combined to have $7,500 in unit sales, then that's where you start earning a monthly, what we call the executive manager cash bonus of an extra $150 each month. You hit the 7,500 or more. Yay! And then the most exciting, and this is available for directors and above, it's our vehicle program. This is where Tupperware leases a car for us. They take care of the license tags, the taxes, the tires, the insurance. You and your spouse or significant other at the same address both are fully insured to drive it anywhere you go, anytime you want. The only bummer to the car program is like every 2 years, just when you get it broke in, Tupperware won't make you turn it back in and take another new vehicle, because 2 years is the maximum lease on any of the cars that we drive. So bummer, but yet it's pretty cool, right? I currently am driving a Cadillac SRX crossover. Remember, I was just going to join Tupperware for the discount. I'm now driving a Cadillac crossover, and I just ordered my new one, which is something like that. It's XRT5, or I don't know, some kind of numbers. Anyway, it's the same car, but the newer model that has a little bit more cargo space. So I'm pretty excited about that. Anyway, so our Tupperware sales month works a little bit different than a calendar month, meaning that when you look at a calendar month, and the last Friday of the calendar month is when Tupperware's sales month closes. So if you look at August, the last Friday of the calendar month was August 26th. So that's when our August sales month closed. And then August 27th started our September sales month. Now in the month of September, the 30th is the last Friday of the calendar month. So for September, our sales month goes from August 27th through September 30th. So when you look in your date book that came with your opportunity kit, you'll see that it's got those dates marked for you. So you want to know when the end of the sales month is, because you want to make sure if you're going for any of those bonuses, whether it's your personal sales volume bonus, whether it's your 500, whether it's stepping up to manager, whatever that is, you want to know when the end of the sales month is so you don't miss out on those bonuses. So what you have is till 11:59 p.m. on the last Friday of the calendar month. That's when it closes. And then that Saturday morning starts the new month. Then your paydays, as I mentioned earlier, your credit card overpayments are paid to you weekly. They're paid out on Mondays. Whether you have direct deposit or whether you receive a check, that's how that is put out. And then all of the other things like the online commissions, anybody that's ordered on your Tupperware, my.Tupperware account or your website, whether it's been just an order, whether it's orders attached to a party, whether it's orders attached to a fundraiser, any of those online commissions or the internet pool, those are all paid out on the third Monday of the Tupperware sales month. As well, internet pool, leadership bonuses, your cash bonus as an executive, your $100 step-up bonus, all of those bonuses are paid on the third Monday of the sales month. So this past Monday, which was the 12th, was our payday, which was for August. Our payday for August was the third Monday of the September sales month. So we all just got paid. Yay, we love it when payday comes. That is also indicated in your date book. What it'll say, it'll have a colored circle around the date and it'll say payday. Yay, we love it when that happens. Okay, so just to give you an example of the money you can make, when you're holding like 2 parties a week, and there's typically 4 weeks in a month. Now in August there were 4 weeks, that's normal. September there's 5 weeks, and that happens 2 or 3 times a year. I look at all the months as 4 weeks, and if I happen to have a 5th week, that's kind of like the gravy month, you know, where you still plan on the 4 weeks, but you get that extra because you have a 5th week in there. But we're going to look at holding 2 parties a week. There's typically 4 weeks in a month, so that's going to give you 8 parties. 8 parties times the national party standard of 500 is going to give you $4,000 in personal sales. Now in our area, the Twin Cities and surrounding area, pretty much in Minnesota, the party average runs more like 650 to 700. You might not have that initially, but that's the party average that we tend to run in this area, which is higher than the national standard. But we're just going to use the 500 as the standard because it's easier for calculations. So that would give us $4,000 in personal sales, of which we make 25%. So that's the $1,000 in personal profit. And then the 10% personal sales volume bonus is going to give you an extra $400. So with this example, you're making about $1,400 profit for the month. You're working about 8 to 10 hours a week or 30 to 40 hours a month. That 8 to 10 hours gives you time to send the invitations, do the party, process the party in the computer, and have a couple hours for a training that week. So that's where we come up with the 8 to 10 hours. Then according to the Direct Selling Association, the average attendance at an in-home party is about 6 people. So if you're holding 2 parties a week and you're seeing an average of 6 people at your party, that's almost 50 people a week or a month that you're seeing at your parties. Well, I like to use the term working with ESP. And ESP stands for talking to every single person at every single party and offer our extra special plan. What I like to say is, would you like to host a party, have some fun with your friends, and receive some free gifts? Or would you like to make some money by joining our team and purchase your Tupperware wholesale? Which interests you the most? Then we have to put a zipper on our lip and give them an opportunity to think about what we've just offered them. So which interests you the most, and then be quiet. As you're doing this at your parties, others that you bring into the business typically will follow what you do, and that will allow you to grow quickly. Now, let me give you a couple of examples of why I feel like this is so important. I did a party with a family from the very young toddlers could barely get around to the very elderly who could barely get around. So as I was checking them out at the end of the party, I was checking them out, taking their orders, calculating their tax and shipping and all that good stuff. I would be talking to them about, would you like to have a party, or what kind of party would you like to have, or would you like a weeknight or a weekend, all those normal questions. Well, I was watching this little old lady trying to make her way over to me. And even with her cane, she could, she was very wobbly. And all I could think is I would be imposing on her. So when she came over to place her order, I did her paperwork, gave her her receipt, and on she goes. So now it's the end of the party, and I'm packing up my kit, putting the products back in my bag, and here she comes wobbling her way with her cane back over to me. And she said, "Is there a reason why I can't have a party? I heard you ask others, but you didn't ask me, and I told the girls I was going to have one at the clubhouse." So you can just imagine how badly I felt. I thought I was doing her a favor, and instead I hurt her feelings. So I learned a very valuable lesson that it's not my right to make a choice for others. That what my obligation is to offer every single person the same thing and give them the option to decide what they want to do. So yes, I did her party. I spoiled her rotten, and I learned a valuable lesson and didn't do it again. The other example that I have is a gal that I probably asked a bazillion times to have a party with me, and she always said no. And then she shows up at one of our sales rallies or meetings, and it will happen. We do cross paths here and there, and sometimes that'll happen. And what you want to remember is, in their eyes, we are all Tupperware. So you want to definitely take the high road, and after the meeting, go over and, "Hi, welcome to Tupperware. It's great to see you." Okay, all that good stuff. So she's being introduced as a new consultant with someone else, and I had talked to her so many times about having a party. So I went over, "Great to see you here. Welcome to Tupperware." I said, "But if you don't mind, I just have to ask. I talked to you so many times about having a party, and you always said no. And now you're here as a new consultant, and I'm just trying to figure out what I did wrong." And she said, "Well, you didn't really do anything wrong. You just always offered me free products." But she said I could make some money, and that's what I really need. Okay, so I'm feeling like I have this giant L on my forehead again. I assumed if she didn't want to have a party, she wouldn't want to sell Tupperware, so I never even asked. So do yourself a favor and don't do what I've done. Offer both to every single person, giving them the choice if they'd like to host a party, have some fun with their friends, and earn some free gifts, or if they'd like to make some money by joining your team and they can purchase their product at a discount. Give them the choice. It's kind of like when you're out at a restaurant and whether you've had like a bunch of appetizers and a bunch of food, and you're asking for to-go boxes, and they still go, "Would you like dessert?" Well, when you say no, it's not like they run back in the kitchen and cry about it. It's just part of what they do. And that's the same way it is for us. When we ask people to have parties, that's just part of our job. So we're going to ask every person if they'd like to host a party or join our team and make some money. So by doing that, you're going to find it's going to help you keep a fuller date book, and it's also going to help you in building your team and your business. So this is a copy of our recruiting flyer. This has just been updated. You will find that you get a pack of these in your Opportunity Starter Kit. It's in the box that comes within the box, and it kind of just talks about where the party can take you. It talks about giving you the opportunity with a flexible schedule to hold your parties when you choose. It gives an example of if you're holding 1, 2, or 3 parties a week or a month, what kind of income that might be looking like. And then it also has a picture of our Opportunity Kit, and it talks about it retails for $99. The value is over $350. And you can actually join for as little as $39 down with our easy payment plan. It refers to the Confident Start program. When you have your first 1,000 in your first 60 days, then Tupperware pays that other $60 balance off for you. So $39 down, $1,000 in 60 days or less. Tupperware pays the balance of the kit. You get to keep all these products just for giving it a try, and I'm going to tell you what a few of these products are. And the reason I mention you get a pack of these in your kit, that might be something that you want to put in your guest folders, might be something you want to put in your host packets, or you want to use when you're talking to somebody, practicing, telling people about the Tupperware opportunity. This is a great sheet to use. Now, online every month, we have a new Say Yes, and we also have a new activation offer. And so online, you can actually print the flyers that include the Say Yes and the activation offer. But I will let you know, these are the generic ones that you can use over and over from month to month. So they might be more cost effective for you. That's a personal choice. So some of the new things we're just upgrading are my.tupperware part of our business. And under the My.Tupperware, you will see a welcome message from the VP of Leadership and Salesforce Development, which is our loving Cheryl Smith. You will absolutely love her. She's got a little bit of a Southern accent, but she's just a sweetie. And then when you click on consultants, this is the first thing that you'll see, what you want to do in your first 30 days. And where it's pink here, you can click on that. That's a link. It'll open up a what is like a little calendar and some of the what we call onboarding checklist, things that you want to do in your first 30 days to get your business rolling, like have a launch party within the next 5 to 7 days if you haven't done that already. That's like one of the things it's going to talk about. It's going to talk about getting your first 2 or 3 weeks of parties lined up, however you want to do that, and some other things along that line. Then we also have the iTup training, which is an interactive training that you do right on the website. Now, I haven't checked, but it used to be when you completed a section of the iTup training, then you took a little quiz, and it gives you an opportunity to print out a certificate that you bring to Rally, and I give you a gift for it. Or you can bring it to your team meeting, and your director will give you a gift. But there are some great training tools within this category, and this is an interactive training. Then the bottom part there, entering your first order, it kind of goes through and explains all the pieces to a party, to an order, putting them in. It's kind of, we also have video tutorials. This is verbal tutorials, and it will help you as you're processing your first or second order. A lot of us do the first couple orders with team members. That's really up to you and how confident you feel with entering things in the computer. Then we're flipping down to the core. The core is, these are everything that has to do with a party. If you click on, like, for example, party planning with Mary Esau, she's a dynamo. She's been in Tupperware forever like me. I'm 27 years and she probably is up there too. And then there's a certain tool, a handout that she uses with her party planning with her host. So when you click on party planning with Mary Esau, and then it opens up and you can hear what she's saying, there's also going to be the document that she refers to is attached there, so you can print it out or save it to your computer, however you choose to do that. And then the next section, dating and recruiting at the party. Of course, these are all tips and training, and you've got some of the, like, Shaping Your iStory by Amanda Lund. Amanda uses the Shapo toy as she tells her story, and that's her recruiting bit at her party. Charmaine Alderman does a recruiting game. Sheila Tolbert does the Mary Mall Tammy Tupper. So just different things that you can do. And again, the attachments of their explanations are with their section. And then there's also dating and recruiting away from a party. And there's also dynamic product demonstrations. So really, pretty much everything you need for the core of the business and the party. Then we've got beyond the party, and there's some information about branding yourself and working with social media and printing your business cards and all that kind of stuff. You also have some tips on fundraising, a little overview and how to work with that. And then again, some more tips on social media and leveraging Facebook. And I'm not sure if that's where the social media policy is or not, but that's another piece that would be part of that. And then you'll see we have all the different toolboxes here. So in the consultant toolbox, there's some dating ideas that'll be coming soon. There's recruiting ideas. There's one piece already posted there. And then consultant power hour, how to help you make the most of the time that you are investing. And then, of course, there's a toolbox for manager through executive, director and above, business leader. And then there's what's called a community toolbox. And this is just an example of some of the things that we're going to find in there. Some different recipes or ideas, things that people have used to build attendance or to build interest in the Tupperware party. So you'll love these enhancements as more of them become available for us to actually use. Then in your opportunity kit, you got a book called the Getting Started Guide. It says that down at the bottom. This is what it looks like, unless you joined before August, and then it was a little black book at that time. But what you want to do is look at this book. I encourage you to take this book and put it inside the back flap of your date book, where you've got it with you all the time, because a lot of answers to your questions can be found in this book. It even gives you pictures of like what is covered and what is not by warranty and some of those kind of things. A few of the other things that you'll find in this Getting Started guide is a little bit of support here around building your contact list. Now, we use the acronym of FRANK not only in helping you as a new consultant get started, but also in helping our hosts think of people to invite to their party. So the page here to the right, where it's got friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, and kids, friends, parents, this might be a page that you want to use with your host. For you as a consultant, you could use the same page, but you're going to want to expand much further. You want to start working on your wonderful 100 list. How many contacts can you create for yourself? So friends, that's pretty self-explanatory. Thinking about the friends that you have, the people you're connected to. Relatives, this, and don't forget, think deep and wide. Think about, your stepsister or your half brother or stepmom, think about your second and third cousin. The thing is as a new consultant, you want to let absolutely everyone you want to let them know you're a Tupperware consultant, because they don't know that unless you tell them. And you want an opportunity to get their business because it's very likely they don't currently have a Tupperware consultant. So you want to gain that connection with them. So relatives could be a significant category depending on who you are and who you want to do business with. Then the third one is acquaintances. And this is probably the biggest category, because this is going to be everything from your hairstylist to your nail technician to your doctor, your dentist, and everybody in their offices. How about everybody from church, or if you belong to any groups or activities? Maybe you just go to yoga once a week. Those are all people that are acquaintances. Your church connections, all of those are acquaintances. And like, for example, when you're at the doctor or dentist, you know what? You're giving them your business. It's okay for you to ask them for theirs. By the way, I'm a Tupperware consultant, and since I'm here giving you my business today, I thought I might intrigue you to want to have a party or place an order and help me with my business. What's the worst that can happen? They say no. So what? You at least told them you're a Tupperware consultant, so if they know of somebody that's looking for a consultant, they'll think of you. So that's a great way to look at your acquaintances as well. Then you've got your neighbors. Now, neighbors could be your past neighbors or your current neighbors. It could be, and you want to use, Tupperware refers to it as your T zone, your Tupperware zone. So think about the people down the street to the right or down the road, depending on if you're in a rural environment, but all the people down the road to the right, all the people down the road to the left. How about the people across the road or street from you, and how about those that are behind you? So covering your T-zone with your neighbors, whether they're current or your past neighbors, those that you have built relationships with, or that you see at the corner store getting some milk and bread, or you run into them at the school or at a local normal activity. So make sure that you're letting them know that you're a Tupperware consultant, because you really don't want them to be having a Tupperware consultant come over and do a party for them because they didn't know that you were a consultant and you live next door or in the neighborhood. And then the last one, the K, here it has kids, friends, parents, people that you know through your kids, people that you know through other kids. Those other kids or your kids' friends, they have parents. I also refer to the K as, in addition to kids, also coworkers. And the coworkers could be past or they could be present. They could be your coworkers, they could be your spouse's coworkers, they could be your mom's coworkers. It really doesn't matter. So the K can do kids and coworkers, and that opens up a whole nother category for you. So that's just a way to get you, I'm sure if I gave you like even just 3 minutes right now, you would be writing down names that you know in each of those categories and kind of getting that list started. And that's one of the things that you want to do right away if you haven't done that already. So start thinking of who those people might be that you're putting on your list. So here are some of the things that comes with your opportunity kit. Again, your getting started guide. I've got to get in the kit and figure out what that one is. I'm not 100% sure which booklet that one is. The next one here is a host folder. Some people use these when they're party planning their host. They put all the information on it. Inside it, it's got a place for the host wish list. It's got a place for the host to start her invitation list. It's got the steps to how to have an easy party, you know, that kind of thing. So those are on that folder. Or you may choose to use the host envelopes, which these you can even mail in if you choose. So those are available. They all come in the kit as well. Then you've got the booklet here on the left where it says number 5. This is what we call your career guide. This will explain in detail about all the compensation and about all the levels that are available and the cars at the different level and the incomes and the trips at the different levels. So there's a lot of information. This is one you might want to share with your significant other so they can see the potential of what this business can do. The next one, number 6 here, Miss Patty, this is a recruiting brochure. This is one that you may want to, some people have used them in their host packets, others only use it when they're sitting down going over the information with others. I will let you know there's a picture in here of our very own director, Sarah Ross, and it's always kind of fun to say, well, gosh, this is one of the girls from our organization. So, but it just kind of goes into a little bit more in depth. And then this is the recruiting flyer that we went over earlier. Again, you get a package of those. I think it's a pack of 20. They come in your starter kit. And then, of course, you can reorder them. And the order number is printed right at the bottom on that flyer. And as well as these booklets, all of these other items, they all have the reorder number on them. So it makes it very easy for you. You get a pack of, I think it's 50 business cards. Of course, they're blank. So you can make labels to put on them or fill in the information, or go to vistaprint.com and order your own. That's really a personal choice. The next is the Confident Start flyer, all the things that you can earn free in your first 13 weeks. And we encourage you to go through and circle the ones you're going to pick, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. And then, of course, you've got the customer order forms. You will notice that Minnesota is a state that does charge sales tax on shipping. So you will calculate the total retail sales. That would be the product total. That's what the host gets credit on. Then you're going to add the shipping to the product total. Then you'll add those two together, and that's where you add your sales tax. And the sales tax is based on the host's address. So then you'll be able to figure the amount that you need to collect. Again, it can be cash, check, MasterCard, Visa, Discover. There's a place for them to put the credit card information right here, right on the slip. I also encourage you at your parties, if you have people that ask you questions, things that you might not know the answer to because you're new, ask them to write their question on the order form. That way, when you're processing, you'll remember to find out the answer to that question and get back to them. So that's another little part to that tool. Then you've got some of your branded products. Our apron, which is just wonderful. It fits all sizes and it has a pocket in front where you can keep your note cards or your auction money or your tickets, depending on what kind of party that you do. Might be where you keep your calculator and your pen, but it helps to look professional. And what we encourage you to do is wear business attire to your parties, even if you're going to observe a party, even if you're going to one of the meetings, and it could be nothing more than a pair of black pants and a blouse or a sweater. You can, if you don't have such a thing, maybe you've been a stay-at-home mom and you've got sweatpants and jeans, you might want to just run over to the local Goodwill, grab a pair of black pants, grab a couple tops, whether it be a blouse or a sweater. That becomes your Tupperware uniform. So when you're doing your parties or you're coming to meetings, that's what you wear. And you put the apron on in it, it just gives you a finishing touch. So, of course, that's a personal choice, but we do recommend proper business attire because you're representing Tupperware. And when I say proper business attire, we do encourage you to avoid blue jeans, avoid flip-flops. Now, if they're fun little sandally kind of flip-flops, that's one thing. But if they're just the basic flip-flops, Tupperware prefers that we do not wear those to our parties and to our meetings. So it's just kind of that simple. And if you have any questions on that, of course, you can always ask me. I'm very approachable and love to hear your feedback and or any of your questions. And then, of course, the last thing is your big kit bag, which has a couple pockets in the front, another zipper, a big pocket in the middle. It's got a shoulder strap, a hand strap, and it's definitely big enough to carry all of this beautiful product that you get in your opportunity kit. So these are all the items that you get in your kit, and we already went through some of the paper items. Let me go through a couple of the products for you. Like, for example, our can opener. It is a very unique can opener, and if you demonstrate it at your parties, you will sell it. Most people need to see how it is demonstrated. It's a $35 item. You want to make sure you're demonstrating those higher priced items. If people want bell tumblers and sipper seals, they'll buy them. I wouldn't waste my time or energy taking those types of things to your parties. You want to have bigger sales. You want to help your host have higher sales so your host gets more for free. When your host has higher sales and gets more for free, you make more money. But you want to keep the focus on how it's going to benefit the host always. So another example, like with this as your starter kit, I would take the measuring spoons, the silicone spatula, and the measuring cups, and I would create a set. I would call that my basic baking set, and that's what they put on the order form, the basic baking set, and then the price you choose for those 3 items. Now you can add up the retail amount and just use the retail amount for your basic baking set, or you can round it down $1 or $2. That's $1 or $2 that would come out of your profit, but you are making a higher volume sale. So that's just something to think about. With the breakfast maker, you know, it comes with, or you can order it with the inserts. With the inserts, it's $29. So I would only talk about it with the inserts because that's a higher price point. Looking at your modular made rectangle container. Again, it's just one container, but I would talk about it as it's one piece to the set and talk about it in terms of sets. What sets come with that rectangle 2, which is our most popular modular mate size. Looking at your Fridge Smart, again, I would hold this up. Now, people need to know the features because they need to know how to use it, but they will buy a product because of how it benefits them and their family. So they need to know there's little wells in the bottom to keep their food up out of their own juices. They need to know there's a ventilation system on the top and a chart for the ventilation system molded in the plastic on the side. But those are basically all features. Why they're going to buy it is because with the proper air-controlled environment, the fruits and vegetables will last longer and retain more of the vitamins and nutrients for you and your family's health. That's how it's going to benefit them. It'll last longer. They don't have to repurchase it as often, and the vitamins and nutrients will remain in the fruits and vegetables because they're not spoiling. Now, when I use, like for example, this is a Fridge Smart Small Deep. Okay, and one of the tips that I recommend is to take a catalog, cut out the name of the item, that whole description, the item number, the price, cut that whole section out and tape it onto your products. I use packing tape because it's wide enough to go completely around what I have cut out of the catalog. So that way, should I need to wash something, I can do it without having to cut up another catalog and retape the information on it. So with the Vent and Serve, with the Fridge Smart Small Deep, the information that I tape on that one is the information for the 4-piece set. So the way I would present this is our Fridge Smart Small Deep. This is just one of the 4 pieces that come in our Fridge Smart starter set. And everybody starts with the 4-piece starter set. I've got the information taped right here on the back. So while I pass it around or you're table shopping, it's very easy for you just to copy it right onto your order form. So then somebody may ask, well, what if I want to just purchase that one container? Oh, I believe you can. What you'll want to do is flip through the catalog and find that section in the catalog, and there you'll be able to find that information. But everybody starts with the 4-piece set so they can determine what sizes are going to work best with their family. So that's why I have the information for the 4-piece set on here. And so that's how I present that. I don't put the information for an individual container. I put the information for the set because I feel like we are doing them the best benefit when we're selling them a set of products that will work together. They fit together, they work together, and it does give them the basic sizes that they need to start their refrigerator storage for their fruits and vegetables. So I only tape the information for the 4-piece set. And if you notice with my voice tones, I say, this is just one of the 4 pieces in the starter set. Now, nowhere does it say it's the starter set. That's just what I choose to call it because that means people start with this set and then they add other ones to it later. So by calling it a starter set gets people engaged in what it can do for them. I also use the voice tones and the words, everybody starts with the 4-piece set. That gets more people on board because they think, well, if everybody else is doing it, I should be doing it too, right? So that helps move it forward. Now I will say, now the 4-piece set is the 4-piece starter set is $84. Now if that's a little bit out of your budget, then I would certainly recommend you consider hosting a party where you could get it half price, like $42 may fit a little bit more in your budget, or maybe you could absolutely earn it free with your party. So free or half price sound a little better than the $84? Yes? Okay, and you're going to smile and you're going to nod your head up and down during the demonstration because people will be nodding their head up and down and getting in agreement with you. That's just the way it works. Okay, so that's how I encourage you to work with that. And then you also have the 3-piece classic impressions bowl set. And they are like amazing. The greatest part about these is all 3 bowls fit in the size of the biggest one with their seal. That's all the storage space you need. Couple other important pieces to it is it's textured on the outside so it resists your scratching and your fingerprints. It's got a silky smooth inside so no matter what gooey sticky thing you put in there, it's a breeze to clean. The seal is easy to open with a large tab, and to close it you'll hook the seal under one of the ridges on the outside and then just kind of work your hands around the seal as if you're tucking the bowl under the seal, and it will snap on. Now, another great asset to the Impressions Bowl collection here is that you can take your seal. When your seal is off, it's slightly domed, so if there's something stuck on the seal, it's not necessarily going to go on the counter, but you set it down where it's slightly domed, and then you put the bowl on top, and it creates a beautiful pedestal, so it looks really nice for any of your entertaining or gatherings, and that way, too, you will never have to worry about losing your seal again because you've used it as the pedestal to the bowl, so it is right there for you. So those are just a few little things. And then, of course, you've got your Power Chef, which is the most dynamic product in your kit. It is $69 and it does everything. It will chop, it will blend, it will puree, it will emulsify. It's what people use to make their own baby food, people that use to make their own smoothies. With the blade inside, you can do pretty much everything with it. Maybe you want to do something just quick and simple. Well, you know, Dairy Queen has blizzards, Tupperware has tornadoes. So you want to make a tornado? How about throwing some Oreo cookies in there and pulling on the cord a few times to get them chopped up? Now you're going to open it, add a couple scoops of ice cream, put the top back on. In the little funnel, you turn it to one way, it's closed. You turn it the other way, it's wide open. So I would encourage you to close it, pour a little milk in there, and then open it slightly so some of the milk starts draining in while you're pulling it. That way you can get it to the consistency that you want. That funnel also has measurements on the inside. So if you're doing something like making pesto and you get to the point where you add the oil, the measurements are inside the funnel. So you've had the funnel closed, you've added the oil, you start doing your chopping of your basic ingredients, and then here you're going to go ahead and turn it open and let the oil drain in, and then just keep use the paddle. The paddle's another great tool, quick and easy recipe for the paddle. 1 cup of heavy whipping cream and 2 tablespoons of your favorite instant pudding. And then you'll put that in, you'll pull the cord with the paddle in, you'll have mousse in your favorite flavor within about 2 minutes. That blender is also useful. Say you're making a microwave cake at your party. You always want to put the liquid ingredients in first, then the powder ingredients. You'll find it mixes much better and much more thoroughly. So you can put the blender bar in, you can put your can of soda, your box of cake mix on top, and then you want to start by slowly pulling the cord, and then you can go a little faster once it starts mixing, and it will blend it together beautifully for it. Then you can use your silicone spatula, pour it right out of the container. Boom, you're all set to go. So there's a few tips and ideas. There is Cheryl Smith from Tupperware is going to be posting some demonstration of the kit products on that my.tupperware site. You're also, if you go to the Explosive Team Sales Facebook page and or the 3D region Facebook page, you will find a gal named Heather Wheeler that does a great demonstration with all of these products from the kit. And just know that there's no right or wrong way. There's just what we call best business practices or things that have worked for us. Just because you don't do it my way doesn't mean it's not okay. It's absolutely okay. You just want to put it into your personality and try different things and just see what's going to work best for you. So in that Getting Started guide, it does give you a complete explanation and some ideas about each of these products. So these might be things that you want to just keep in your notes. Maybe they're things that you want to put on index cards. Maybe you want to cut this part out and tape it on the product. I like the item number and price so they can copy it onto their order form, because I want them to put more on their order form. But you know, you need to do what's most comfortable for you. Okay, now your Confident Start program. This will start with your first retail order or your first 30 days. When you have your first, in your first 30 days, you have your first 500. That's going to get you your first award, which of course you're going to be calculating the big bucks and you need a place to keep them. So you've got your solar calculator money pouch. Or you can choose the rectangle medium shallow, or you can choose the modular mate rectangle 1. Just a personal choice. So take your sheet that came in your kit and circle which items you're going to take at each of the levels. The second level is when you have your $1,000 or more in your first 60 days. Tupperware pays off that $60 balance on your kit for you. Yay, we love it when that happens. So you've got that kit taken care of. The third level, which is 3 parties or $1,500, this is where you get your choice of the host gift special that is in the catalog, or you get your choice of the 7-piece vent and serve set. Both of those are awesome. Both of those will help you date parties. It's really just about a personal choice there. And then we have at the level 4 is 5 parties or 2,500 in sales, and that's going to get you the Great Master Shredder or the mandolin or the modular mate baking set. So you get to determine at that level which one of those items you will choose. Then you get to level 5, which is 8 parties at $4,000. Remember, this is the level that if it's done within a sales month, $4,000 within the sales month, you get the 10% personal sales volume bonus. And at this level, whether it's within the sales month, whenever you hit that $4,000 level within your first 13 weeks, you're going to get the branded logo Tupperware kit bag, and it is a rolling kit bag. And you will also get the Tupperware branded tablecloth, which both of these items help you just continue to look more successful for your parties. At level 6, which is 10 parties or $5,000, you have your choice between the microwave pressure cooker, the microwave smart steamer, or the stack cooker set. These are all what you call your pots and pans for the microwave. They all do their own thing a little bit different. The pressure cooker is like the slow cooker, but it works in your microwave, so it doesn't take 6 hours. The smart steamer allows your food to be cooked only by steam, not by any microwaves. And the stack cooker allows you to do a 3-course meal in 30 minutes in the microwave, or to drain the grease and fat from your ground beef, your ground turkey, your ground pork, your ground chicken. It will drain all the grease and fat with the colander. You can also make a cake in 8 minutes. So they're just basic pots and pans for your microwave. It's just you deciding which set you want the most. And then of course at level 7, this is where you maximize this program, and this is at 15 parties or $7,500 in sales. You get the the Apple iPad Air, or you get the Chef Series Cookware Generation 2, the 11-piece set for free at that level. So that's a personal choice. If you don't have an iPad or a laptop, most people will take that. I will say most people have that, so they go for the cookware because that's like, what, $1,100 value. So that's a personal choice, up to you. So you want to circle which ones you're going to take. At level 1, there's a choice. At level 4, at level 1, there's a choice. Level 3, there's a choice. Level 4, there's a choice. And at 6 and 7, there are choices. We love choices. So you get to pick what's best for you. And it's easy for you to track your progress, because when you go into My Sales and you go to reports, you just go down to programs, and this is what's going to come up. And it's going to, down here at the left, you're going to see that's where your name will be. It'll show your recruit date, and then it will show the program start date. Now your program start date will be either when your first retail order goes in or your first 30 days, whichever comes first. Once your start date is acknowledged, then you will know the end of your program date, the end of your 13 weeks. You will also be able to see the program sales to date and what level you are at currently and the sales that you need to the next level. So it really is focused on helping you stay on track for earning all of your awards. Then we have an opportunity for you to join us at the biggest party of the year. Yes, you as a new consultant get the opportunity to register for Jubilee 2017. This is our national conference for only $149. And to do that, you need to qualify with $1,500 in personal sales or 3 standard parties and 1 registered recruit. Once you do the 1,500 and the 1 registered recruit, you're going to want to go in and actually register right away because there are only 3,000 seats available and over 2,000 of those seats are already taken. But you as a new consultant can register at the low price of $149. And at this event, you're going to learn about any of the new products that are coming out. You're going to get training. You're going to have an opportunity to meet and greet with people all over the country. And it's so great because every year you get to go back and, see the friends that you've made. Of course, you can stay in touch with them with Facebook and social media and so on. So it's just a phenomenal experience. And this year, we are going to the Gaylord Palms Resort, which from what I understand is quite extravagant. So it's a really awesome opportunity. And if you have the opportunity to join us, you definitely want to because it's a great experience. That's all I can say. Okay, now we're going to wrap up, get in this last section, which is the cycle of success. Dating, party planning, demonstrating, and so on. So I would encourage you on Monday night, we have our record breaker workshop. And now, Beth, I think you're quite a distance away. If you're not able to join us physically, you would still be able to watch us online. We use Zoom to stream our meetings, so you can still be a part of it, even if you can't physically come. Of course, if you can physically come, that's definitely in your benefit, because then you get to participate in the energy and all the pass outs and everything right away. But I bring that up because we have a gal that is going to be doing a party planning segment, and she just does a phenomenal job. She will talk about party planning every host for $1,000 party, which means you make $250 when you go out the door. So that's kind of exciting. She does a brilliant job, and I can't do that justice, but I can give you just a quick overview here. So you want to make sure that with your host, when you date a party, party planning and host coaching are really the same thing. They're just 2 different word choices. But you want to work with your host on setting a goal, a gift goal. And that's why I said you want to party plan them for the $1,000 party. And if they fall a little bit short, they're still going to be earning some great products. So you want to give them the tools. They need some catalogs and some of the sale flyers. You want to give them extra order forms. Any they don't use, they can give you back. But you want to make sure that they're working on their outside orders. You want to give them the host gift sheet so they can see the products that maybe they're working toward, and work with your host on the invitations. If you're going to get a guest list back from them, to mail them out for them. If they're going to invite them themselves, you do want to make sure that your host does a personal invitation, not just send them in the mail or send them an email, but does a personal invitation. That will make a difference on the success of the party. But there are what we call our 4 most popular challenges that we partner with our host on. And whether you do 4 challenges, 6 challenges, 10 challenges, these are the 4 that are the most common and most popular. So partnering with your host with these challenges is really helping your host have a more successful party, and in return, of course, you will as well. So the first one is hold the party on the original date. And you don't want to tell your host, well, I need you to have it on this date because that's where I've got it in my schedule, and I need you to have it there. It's not about you, it's about them. So what you'll say is you'll want to hold your party on the original date because that'll help your friends with their planning, and that'll allow you to have higher attendance. We find that when they postpone or they change the date, the attendance changes as well. So when they hold it on the original date, that works better for you and their friends, and typically everybody has a more success at that point. So another one might be 7 or 10 adult guests in attendance. That is just kind of encouraging them to have the base of what's needed to have a successful party. $200 or more in paid advanced orders. That's kind of getting them halfway toward bonus land where they want to always hit at least the 500 or more. So when they have 200 in the advanced paid orders before the party, that's going to help them have a higher party sales as well. And then a dating and waiting. That is when somebody says they're going to date a party from that party before the party even starts. So those are the four most popular. And what you'll do with your host as they qualify for any of these challenges is give them little gifts. And when I say little gifts, I don't mean like pieces of Tupperware. They could be things like from your tiny treasure bag. They could be past dating gifts. You get 4 dating gifts in your opportunity kit, so you could use those. Or some of our other sales aids or tiny treasures might be, now for my host, I'll let them have magnets and keychains. Only my hosts get the magnets and keychains. The rest will get, when they place their order or whatever, they will get like a citrus peeler or a lettuce core or a tea bag squeezer or a melon baller, some of those extra things. It doesn't really matter what the gifts are. Those are all things that your host can only get from you as their Tupperware consultant. We have easy access to them. They do not. So everything you give them is special, and a lot of it has to do with how you present it to them. So I would do, if I offer challenges, I would do that at the very beginning of the party, because I would say, I partnered with Susie to have a successful party, and oh my gosh, the first thing I said, hold it on the original date. Bam, she did that. Here is your first gift. I'm so excited for you. And I challenged her to have 7 or more adult guests in attendance. Look how many people are here. Bam, that's another free gift for you. And you're going to do that in your own personality style, but kind of working it in that way. I like to present them to the host at the beginning of the party, because that helps other people. Look at all that stuff that host is getting free. Maybe I should have a party. Like when you hand the host a large funnel as one of her gifts, and somebody says, oh, I want one of those. You'll just turn to them, make eye contact, smile, nod your head up and down, and just say, oh, don't worry, I'll save one of those funnels for you when you have your party. And then go back. And that just is what we would call like a dating bid. You're planting a seed for them. If they want the large funnel, then they have a party, and that's how they're going to get it. So I would do that with all of these 4 main challenges or most popular challenges. And then, of course, there are more. And then the trifecta, we call that when you have the host personally inviting people. They also use Tupper Connect, which I'll show you on the next page. And they also set up a Facebook event as a way for you to be able to kind of do some extra post advertising, encouraging people to come to the party. But the most important thing overall is staying in contact with your host. That's what's going to make the difference in you having the ultimate successful party. Now, when you go in to set up the party, you'll go into your party history in your My Sales web application. You'll go into party history. The party reference number is calculated for you. You'll put in the description. Most of us put in. You come over, you click on the little calendar, and that's where you click on the date. So that's where it's going to set that up. The attendance, number of orders, and datings, that's all calculated by the computer after your processing is done. Then you would want to determine, except for direct-to-customer orders, the party will be shipped to the host or the consultant. Most all of us ship it to the host, and the host can sort it and get it to their guests on their own. That's pretty common these days. You want to put in all the information, the host information, and then if it's being shipped to the same address, you can just click the box. Some people might ship it to their work or to their mom who's home during the day or something like that. Most of the time it is the same information, and to be able to do a Tupper Connect, you will need to have the host's email address. When you have the email address entered, then you can come down here and click on combine this party with an online party. And then it's going to have you put the time in. The date's already up here at the top, so down here you're just going to be putting the time in. So once you click on that, then you click next, and this is what's going to pop up. And easily send invites to home party guests. Do you want to invite guests or allow your host to send the invites? So you can do it either way. If you click no, just send the email to the host, then the host will receive an email and it will talk them through how to send the invites, how to go in and register the party on your website. So when somebody goes to your website and clicks on find a party, the host name will come up. What I recommend is that you click, yes, I want to invite the guests myself. And it's not really that you want to invite the guest yourself, but when you click this one, the host is still going to get the email. But the difference is that when you click yes, it sets your party up on your website immediately. And that way you don't have to wait for the host to find time to go do it. But the host will still get the information on inviting their guests to the party. And it's going to look something like this. This gives them an opportunity. It generates a link for, one is preferred for Facebook and the other one is preferred for like email or texting or whatever else. But there is this one that is encouraged for just Facebook. So your host is going to get these. Your host will be able to keep track of the guests that they've invited, who's attending, who's not, what the sales are for the party so far, and so on. So this is, whether it's a party or whether it's a fundraiser, the Tupper Connect gives you the opportunity to connect online orders with the party. But the party has to be set up that way for that to happen. And the most important part about doing a Tupper Connect party is that you need to have, or your host will need to have, at least $175 in paid orders that you manually enter before the online orders attach. So if you set up your host and everybody goes crazy ordering online, you want to make sure that you're emphasizing with your host that they need to have at least $175 in orders that you process for the online orders to connect. And that will make it a more successful party for everyone. And Tupperware does that because our business is focused on in-home parties. And if you're doing an in-home party, you're typically going to have more than the $175 in orders to actually enter. If someone goes in and they do an online party only, they have to get to $275 before they get anything. And what they get at that point is 10% of the retail they're going to get a e-gift certificate for. And that e-gift certificate can be used online, but it's only going to be for 10% of the product total once they've met 275 or more. They don't get a dating gift, they don't get a thank you gift, they don't get all the extra host credits or the exclusive host awards unless they're having an in-home party. So it really is a great selling point for you to get your host to at least have a few friends over for you to demonstrate some product. And then our last segment is creating the desire. Learn to create the desire. I call this the secret. So I'm going to ask you a little later, what's the secret? The secret is creating the desire. And you create the desire for, like, our host benefits through an explanation of the host offers, or helping them want products that are more than they can afford, or the exclusive items that they can only get free with a party. When you're really talking those kind of items up, that creates the desire for them to want a party, and that makes it easy for you to get the datings for your host to get their bonuses. So it works great for you and the host both. Also creating the desire for the next demonstration. So tonight we made salsa, like the salsa they eat with chips, right? Next party, we're going to make fruit salsa, which is a great, healthy, nutritious snack for you and your kids. Or at the next party, I'm going to show you how to make a cake in the microwave in 8 minutes. So you're planting seeds throughout the party, little commercials, why they want to come to the next party or have the next party. And then, of course, you're creating the desire for the product through a good demonstration, helping them see how they're going to save time, money, space, waste, and taste. And you're going to build the sales, build the datings, and build the recruits by just creating the desire. One of the things I like to do at the parties is, again, at the beginning, after I've given the host their challenge gifts, I like to have everybody open their catalog to page 75, which is here on the left. And I will say, Susie, for having the party tonight, you're going to want to get, or you're going to receive one of these items free for having the party. Now, I don't know if you've looked at them yet, but I'd like to go around the room and have you introduce yourself. Tell me your name, how you know the host, and if it was your party tonight, which one of these would you choose? So they go around and, I'm Betty and I'm her sister, and I would choose the ice tray because it looks like I can seal it and I'm not going to spill it on the way to the freezer. And you go to the next one. My name's Cindy and I'm her daughter, and I like those Crystal Wave soup mugs because I can take my soup to work with me for lunch, okay, and so on. So as you go around the room doing this, what you're doing is you're identifying what their hot buttons are, what kind of things they would like if it were their party. So there you've kind of planted a dating bed. Also, it could help you gear your demonstration to maybe some of the things that they like. Okay, and I actually say, when you decide which one you want, write it on your order form so you remember when we get to you. That way, when I get the order forms back and they're coming to checkout, I can look and I can see which one of those items they want. And I'll say, oh, and go ahead and grab your calendar so we can set the date for your party so you can get those soup mugs you've got your eye on. Because the only way they can get those soup mugs is when they host a party, because it's an exclusive host only. That's the only way they can get those. So it gives you an opportunity to date a party with them. Also, you'll find the complete chart is on page 75. As you see, number one, it's not really considered a party till it's $175 or more. That's when they get to pick one of these. Then the next, when they start earning host credits, that begins at $275. And that's where they get 10% of the retail product total. And their first item are set at half price. At $500, it goes to 15%, and a second item or set at half price. And at $1,000, it's 20%, and the third item are set at half price. You do want to be aware that all of the host credits and half price items can be used toward items or sets, and they must be from the full line catalog. Your little sale brochure, those products are already discounted. So if they want those, they want to buy them because they're discounted. But for their free and half price, they need to be picked out of the full line catalog. And it's nice that they can be items or sets when you're looking at the half price items. Because if you can encourage them to want that set of cookware and it's $1,100, that's just giving you $550 in sales credit. Because you're going to get sales credit on what they pay, the half price amount that they pay. Now, the half price amount that they pay is not counted into their party credit, but it is counted for your sales credit toward your challenges and awards. The other thing they will ask is, can they use their host credit to pay their half price amount? And the answer is no. The half price amount needs to be paid by the host to qualify for that purchase. And then, of course, you've got your pictures of your host gift special. This particular one in this catalog is like a BOGO, more or less. You get all 4 bowls with the burgundy seal and all 4 bowls with the red seal. You'll also get the square snack store with the burgundy seal and the red seal. Then you're also going to get measuring spoons in red, measuring cups in the burgundy. The bottom bowl here is called the Fix and Mix bowl. It's the 26 cup bowl. It's the one that people will say, oh, my grandma had it, and it was the biggest bowl ever. And it's going to have been a pastel yellow or a pastel green. That is the Fix and Mix bowl here on the bottom. They think it's the biggest bowl ever, but it really isn't. It's just the Fix and Mix bowl. It is a 26 cup bowl. And then the mixing bowl set, anytime that we have a bowl or a product with the word mix in it, that means it's safe to use your beaters in. So that's kind of a little plus as well. The snack store is not available for sale in the catalog. It's only available in the host set. And it's a lovely square container, a little bit deeper. It'll hold your muffins, your cupcakes, your cookies at holiday time, you know, when people make a whole bunch and freeze some and so on. So it's a beautiful host gift, and they can only get this free by having a party with $500 or more in sales and 2 or more datings. So creating the desire. This is a sheet that some people like to use, again, to create the desire by saying these are the top 10 most popular host selections at half price. What we're doing is helping them see that, you know, if this looks a little bit out of your budget, oh, sorry, that's $79 now. Shame on me. I thought it was, oh, it is, because it's got the chop and prep with it. Sorry. Forget that. But this helps people see this is the retail, and this is what I can get it for if I have a party or when I have a party. These are some of the bigger items, but items that people really like and want to have. So this is a big plus for you as well. Sometimes people will put this in their guest folders or in their host packet. You know, maybe put it in an easel, have it on your display table, or if you do a vendor event, it would be great on a display table. That's just a personal choice. But when we talk about a good demo, this is selling the product and will date parties. So if you demonstrate like the systems that Tupperware has already created for us, or you demonstrate some of our core products. When you're demonstrating things from the catalog, they can always get them free or half price with a party. So with demonstrating any of these items, you can say free or half price with a party. Or demonstrating the featured buy. Like this month, it is the Smart Steamer with the Vent and Serve set, all of it for only $129. What a great deal that is. So when you're looking at price points of $75, $100, $125, people will be looking at small is sometimes too small, big is sometimes too big, medium's just right. So then you're getting about $100 out of each one of your customers at your parties. So those are price ranges to help you just kind of pinpoint what you want to sell or how you want to demonstrate at your party. They will buy the smaller items, but when you demonstrate and help them see the benefits of these kind of items, it is going to increase your sales and your datings. And the other thing is, if it's an interactive party where like you are making salsa, you'll have the guest actually open the can with the can opener. You'll have another guest actually chopping up the onion or garlic in your Power Chef. You want to have the guests involved. And when you have them involved and it's interactive, your party can go a little bit longer. When they're sitting and watching you demonstrate, you want to keep it at about a 20-minute maximum, because that's about their attention span when they're sitting and you're just talking to them. Interactive can go a little longer, but just in the talking segment, you want to kind of limit that. This is after you've done the introductions and the host gifts. This is just your product demonstration. About 20 minutes is enough. And then you want to make sure they know how easy it is to have a party, how much product they can earn. You want to create the desire. Remember, that's the secret. Create the desire for them to want more products than they can pay for, or for the exclusive items that they cannot purchase. Engage the guest in the party experience. Make it fun, make it informational. Use things like the auction party, the tickets, the bingo format, the let's make a deal. Just have it just be something fun. And we know that when they laugh and learn, they do return. So you want to have it be a very positive experience. And when we do an effective close, something like playing one of our dating games. You're going to learn dating games by going to your team meetings, by going to our sales rallies and our events. We've got Record Breaker workshop coming up here on Monday. So those kind of events, you're going to learn a lot. We do obviously webinars because you're on one right now. We also do some conference call training like every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. But you want to learn how to play these dating games. There's a smidget game, there's an envelope game, there's a dice game, there's an auction game, there's a let's make a deal game. It really doesn't matter. What you have to do is find what's most comfortable for you, and that's how you want to work it. But that effective close with a dating game will help you secure those datings if you haven't done it already by creating the desire. Okay, now it's quiz time, and you get to type your answers in. We're going to see what you retained. I got about, 6 questions here for you. So what's the minimum that you want to make sure you sell in your first 30 days? Who knows the answer? Just type it right in. Okay, then I'll help you. It's $500. You want to have at least that first party in your first 30 days. I really do. Oh, good job. Way to go, Beth. I really do recommend, having 2 parties in your first 30 days if possible, but at least one where you're getting your 500 in. Okay, what can you do to multiply your income without multiplying your hours? Multiply your income without multiplying your hours. And that is build a team. When you build a team and you can step up to manager, you're increasing your income, multiplying your income without multiplying your hours. What is one of the important challenges to give your host prior to the party? You have, I gave you 4 of the most popular ones. Do you remember any of them? Either one of you can answer. Hold the party on the original date. Have 7 to 10 adult guests in attendance. Have a dating in waiting. Wait, did I say that one? No. And what was the other one? $200 or more in paid orders before the party. So those are the main ones. Holding the party on the original date, 7 to 10 adult guests in attendance, $200 or more in paid orders before the party, and a dating in waiting. Do you remember the price points that you want to demonstrate, that you want to do your demonstration to? We talked about small, medium, and large, but I did give you some price points. Definitely selling in sets and not individual items. That is for sure. That is for sure. We talked about small, medium, and large being 75, 100, and 100, 125. So those are like just some price points to kind of just wrap your head around. How can you learn to play a dating game? How can you learn to play a dating game? And that would be attending any of the training, the team meeting, going to a meeting, yes, absolutely. Any of the training events, conference calls, webinars, all of those are great answers to where you are going to learn more about the dating and the demonstration and all of that. Okay, last question. What is the secret? And I want both of you to have this one right. I know you can do it. What's the secret? The secret is creating the desire for them to want more than they can afford or for the exclusive items that are available in the catalog. So now what? You're going to activate your My.Tupperware account if you haven't already. You're going to start working on your wonderful 100 list. If you haven't already, that's a pretty quick and easy thing to get started. Familiarize yourself with your kit. Look at the product inserts. They're going to give you some great information and word choices. You want to hold your launch party if you haven't done that already. You want to begin working on your Confident Start program. That's the 7,500 in 13 weeks is your target. Yearn to learn, take advantage of the ITUP training, take advantage, invest the time in like the conference calls and the webinars. Of course, you're already doing that. You're on here right now. We do have a podcast site. We're in the process of updating to have some newer information. But I will say on the Explosive Team Sales Facebook page, you'll find a lot of interaction and a lot of people sharing tools and ideas and things that will help you in building your business. If you're local, attend our meetings faithfully. If you're not local, you can always attend them by computer. Visit on parties, go on training parties, watch what others are doing. Most things are very duplicable. They're easy for you to repeat and put in your own personality. So in closing, I want to know what you learned today. I want you to send me an email at etsjan@prodigy.net. Just send me a quick email. Tell me what you learned from the training today, maybe a couple of key points or things that you want to try. And in return, I will send you a copy of this presentation as well as a whole folder of information such as the papers that we use with party planning, demo tips, recipes, and a whole bunch of other lots of tools that are there to help you if you choose to use any of them. So I will send all those back to you as soon as I get your email. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me today. Are there any questions before I let you go? Any questions at all?